All right, welcome to Brain Freeze. This is the Wednesday edition where we go deeper into some of the things that we tackled on Monday's episode. So those things are WPP and how they're effectively using AI, and V-JEPA, a new model that is being released into the world, which is totally different than LLMs. Here we go.
Thank you, GenerosityX, for sponsoring this episode. GenerosityX partners with charities across North America, across sectors, to help them grow their fundraising programs from acquisition to cultivation to retention, using smarter systems, better testing, and responsible use of data and generative and predictive AI. They believe the future of fundraising is human-centered, data-informed, and thoughtfully powered by AI. GenerosityX is proud to support conversations like this one. So we're going to talk a little bit about WPP. They are a very, very large company out of London, basically an umbrella company for some of the largest agencies, marketing agencies.
London, England,
London,
not
England.
London, Ontario.
Yeah, so any other London there is, none of them. It's in London, England.
Yep.
So they own AKQA, Gray, VML, Group M, which I think is now WPP Media, and Ogilvy. So each one of those is like a couple thousand employees, huge companies owned by WPP. A little fun fact about WPP. They were founded in 1971 as the Wire and Plastic Products Company. So they're now a huge marketing company now.
Wow,
but they were
cool.
They made shopping baskets, wire baskets.
No way.
Yeah, and
that's actually fascinating.
It's a bit of an aside, but there's a lot of companies that are kind of like that, where they tried to make a product, failed at it, and pivoted, right? Like 3M.
Did something else.
3M was a mining company.
Yeah.
And they kind of sucked at it, so they took all that grit and sand that they were mining and stuck it to paper and made sandpaper. So WPP, Wire and Plastic Products Company, bought by Martin Sorrell in 1985, and then he became CEO in '86. He renamed it to WPP Group. So no more wire
mesh
and plastic.
Baskets?
Yeah, no more. I you know what? I didn't look up when they stopped selling mesh baskets, but they now own all those agencies.
Yeah.
And they use AI extensively. They have now for a couple of years, actually. They released WPP Open, or announced it as kind of their internal AI processes in 2023. Using Gemini, early versions of Gemini, and building their own custom models as well. What they recently released, though, late in 2025, was WPP Open, which is a self-serve version of that. And so now people can access, they have tens of thousands of clients.
Yeah,
right?
Is it clients only that can access WPP Open?
Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see if we can get access to it.
Well, I suppose
awesome.
if you sign up and you pay them, you are sort of a client.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. Can only clients use it? Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess you can become one. So the co-founder of Google DeepMind, he said that WPP Open is one of the best applications of Gemini that I've seen so far. They call it a large marketing model, LMM. See what they did there? I actually thought I was going to say it wrong. I thought I would say LLM, but it's a LMM, large marketing model. It's built on their data sets of audience behavior and campaign performance. They fine-tuned their own models as well as using Gemini. So they take advantage of Gemini's very large context windows to basically feed it a brand's entire history.
Wow.
The history of a brand, performance data, all of their narratives, their constraints, their everything.
User profiles, all of that. Avatars, everything.
And they get back things like creative briefs or creative briefs and actual copy for projects. And they're saving a ton of time doing this. They said that they're saving 14 hours back every week for a team of 4. Every week. That's That's a lot. It works out to 90 days of time saved each year. That's
a whole quarter.
It's a quarter.
Yeah, that's a whole quarter.
Yeah. So
imagine that. Imagine being able to do 25% more every single year over your competitors.
Yeah. Or like instead of having a team of 5, you have a team of 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing the same amount of output.
Yep.
They also have their own fine-tuned models. And they're actually very public about the use of AI and the use of their models. They don't hide it at all.
At all, yeah.
So they talk about using it for Argos, which is one of their clients. They use it for replicating brand mascots in 3D. That figures out the lighting and the textures and all of that. They use it to ingest the brand's style guidelines, past performance histories. I think I kind of mentioned some of that already. In 2024, they partnered with IBM to produce a model called the Buying Group Brain, which was trained to predict behavior of complex B2B buying committees. And they're actually doing a ton of modeling and predictive analysis on campaigns so that they can produce campaign materials and then predict
the results.
Predict the results based on the materials that they've produced.
That's crazy.
They work with the NVIDIA Picasso stack. So the Picasso stack is it's two things. It's the DGX cloud, so it's all of that hardware clustering from NVIDIA, as well as some kind of safe vanilla models for them to do their fine tuning on top of. They're not massive like the sum of the world's knowledge like most LLMs try to be. They're very, very specific, tightly controlled models that are specifically built for this.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned, like, I'm going to be doing some fine tuning for, I don't know how much I can say, some fine tuning for some agencies, basically to do the same sort of thing. And one of the questions that we collectively had early on in the project was, is it possible to fine tune a model for a specific task and have it better than one of the large models that are out there?
Right, just the general models that have the sum of all the information.
Yeah. Like, is it better to make a Claude skills or project? Like, is that better? Is Gemini with its large context window better? Is a custom GPT, is that going to be better? Or is fine tuning like a 13 billion parameter model on specific domain knowledge, is that going to be better? And the general consensus is yes, you can make a model that's specifically built for a specific domain, and it will outperform even retrieval augmented generation with a large model.
Yeah, I think that probably, I mean, we're making some assumptions now, but at least I am. I think that's because a lot of the speed and effectiveness comes from not having to look through large data sets and just focusing on the output that's already been successful. So that's one of the benefits of fine-tuning a model, is that you are generally constraining the information to successful output. So you wouldn't train a model on something that was unsuccessful, right? So if you're, for instance, the LMM is a good version of this. It's like if they have a history of successful campaigns, let's say, successful brands, then they're able to then take that only successful criteria and then train the models to only use the outputs from successful data. Why would you train on unsuccessful data? And the fact that they have it is what arms them for future use cases. And so I think as we fine tune models for clients, and as the world in general fine tunes, another really good real world example of this is of Neo, the robot that is being released by 1X or whatever. It's very specifically a real world movement model. It doesn't go and, it doesn't have trillions of parameters. It's a very specific, focused on tactile movement, the physics of the real world, but in a constrained fashion, because obviously compute costs electricity and energy, and you need a battery to run for a long time on a robot, like stuff like that. Those constraints, they help fine tune the effectiveness of the actual tool.
Some of the things that I guess agencies need to wrestle with is there is a strong community that's against AI, and a lot of that community is involved in agency work. Copywriters, creatives,
For sure.
project managers,
Yeah.
all of them, their jobs can be affected by AI rollout. And so they do tend to push back. And for the most case, their human work is better than what models are producing right now.
For sure.
The thing is that a model can get you kind of 85% of the way there, and then a human needs to polish it up. Like we looked at on Monday, the Quen model that breaks images down into layers. They're not perfect.
Right.
But what we used to do is magic wand or lasso tool all the way around the
Yes.
cut it out, try to fill in the background yourself, remove shadows where they're not supposed to be. We used to do all that anyways.
Yeah.
Now it's saving maybe 85% of the time. It's not perfect. So when you do it, you're like, the shadows there, his hair isn't cut out right.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can fix that very quickly.
For sure.
And you've just saved yourself enough time to go and grab a coffee.
Starbucks coffee.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Not sponsored.
Yeah. So I would say, that smaller agencies that are concerned about pushback should be looking at some of these larger players who are confidently moving ahead with it.
Yep.
And saying we are doing this, we're saving time, we're saving money, and we're getting really good outputs that are based on more research than any human is going to remember on their own, or be able to dig through. We can produce a better product. So if you think about a creative team producing an ad, and then asking them now go through all of the history of the performance of all of the campaigns and predict how that ad will do, and then adjust it.
Right.
That's a monumental task.
Yeah, it's tedious.
That can now be done by a little chunk of metal with some fans, and some water.
I think also the structure, like the creative's brain, often says something like, "I'm part of the output," right? Like as a creative person, you associate yourself with the thing that's being made. So, but it can very often be detrimental because we look at it like, oh, here's my baby. I hope you like my baby. But the truth is, like in a performance environment, in a business environment, it's important that you separate yourself from the output so that it can be measured. And it can be an ego killer very often when you put a creative to a project. They have to separate themselves from it, and that makes it very difficult. Now, there are incredible creatives who are making incredible things and have the ability to separate themselves from the product that they're making just to be able to measure it successfully.
I will say, even on the agency side, when you're dealing with client billables, and you have a very creative, very talented person that you hired because they're one of the best, they're not happy with a 90% good product.
Right.
They want 100.
Yep.
But your project manager is looking at your approved billable hours saying, you don't have the time to make it 100%. You have the time to make it 90%.
Yeah.
And so while they want it to be 100, they're also looking at AI and saying, that's not nearly good enough.
Right.
And they're right.
Yes.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough for them. But even the products that they're putting out are not necessarily good enough for them because of the constraint of time and budget.
Yep. Exactly. So if we can somehow move the whole thing further, get it to 95% rather than 90, and do it in a fraction of the time, that's really useful.
Yeah, and it's like the Quen layers tool. It gets you almost all the way there.
Yep.
Almost. It saves you a lot of time. It's not perfect, but boy, it saves you a lot of time.
Which you can now visit at PSD Maker. No, just kidding. We do not have a tool like that yet, but maybe this week.
Yeah, we should. Now, along those lines too, as you speed up parts of the process, you're going to reach bottlenecks in different areas. So what was your easy throughput before now becomes your bottleneck because you sped up the front part of the process line.
Right. Yeah.
And so you need to figure out how are you going to adjust workflows down the line so that doesn't become the new bottleneck.
Yes.
And then kind of related to that is, where do you intentionally introduce a bottleneck in quality control or in compliance, or some sort of human responsibility in that line?
Yep.
Where do you intentionally introduce it? So streamlining the process, streamlining the tools, insert new bottleneck,
Yes.
and then we'll worry about how to streamline that bottleneck down the road.
Yeah. In a decreasing kind of effective model, right? The iterations will get tighter and tighter and tighter over time.
Yeah. So for, I would say, like, for smaller agencies that are still wrestling like with do I do this or not? Is it going to be effective? Is it the right decision? Do it. Invest the money to make your own proprietary models that can then be fine-tuned for your clients, or rather fine-tuned based on how you work, how you produce content. Make it possible to layer in retrieval augmented generation on top of that for client-specific requirements. Figure out how to improve your workflows to remove or introduce the bottlenecks, and then go for it. Give us an email.
Yes,
and we'll help you out. And
share the short that we just cut from those 3 tips that Dave just gave, that we will make available on our YouTube channel.
New segment, the tips.
Let's move on. So V-JEPA is a new visual model that was created by Yann LeCun, who was the head of AI research at Meta. And so he started a new business, and it is a lot of this section will be read from my research, only because it's relatively complicated, but it's so cutting edge that I think it's worthwhile. It is not an LLM. Most of the things that we talk about in this show have been large language model based. When we're talking about IDEs and stuff, and token usage and context windows, those are referring to large language models. So when we dive into new things like a visual model, there's a lot of the context that we're still learning as well. So full disclosure, I'm not a pro on this new stuff, but I wanted to bring it up because it is a new model and it's highly fascinating. So what it is, V-JEPA is a video joint embedding predictive architecture. It's a self-supervised AI that uses only video to do a lot of what we do in our human brain. The example that I would use is, when you throw a ball up in the air and you have let's imagine you're throwing the ball over your head. You only see your left hand throwing the ball up. You don't see the ball over your head, but you can predict where to put your hand on the other side because you're calculating the physical trajectory of the ball, and your brain does this automatically. It calculates the trajectory. You don't need the visual data of it over your head to be able to catch it with your other hand. You've just trained your brain to do that. Your brain is doing that in real time. That's what this model does. It builds and predicts the trajectory and extra spatial information outside of what is captured in the initial video. And it does this in real time, and it's self-learning. So it uses this Encoder-Predictor Framework, masking video blocks. So it'll actually build real-time video frames in between all of the, you were talking about the layers of information that model, what was it called again?
The Quen?
The Quen model.
Quen layer image. I think it's like, Quen's not great at naming their models. It's Quen image layered. So it uses what is, they're comparing it to masking inside of Photoshop or video editing. When you just mask out a character and it's all black or all white, and you're using it to key out certain elements of the video. It does that with the physical world. It builds a world model based on masking of different things in the video. It's fascinating. So it builds, instead of predicting pixels, it predicts high level feature vectors, forcing it to learn concepts like object permanence and motion, not just appearance. It does this masking strategy. It uses large continuous blocks of masked video to create challenging prediction tasks
I'll show a little video here. There's a little diagram here that shows how it actually masks out video information in extra video space, like space outside the current video. It's fascinating. It's way faster at visual processing than an LLM would be. Obviously, because it's not using tokenized space in the same way that an LLM does. It enables robots to plan actions and interact with new objects with almost zero extra training.
Wow.
Yeah. So it translates into the real world incredibly well. We are a visual cortex-based machine, the human body is, right? Most of the information our brains deal with is visual based, is in the visual space. So we spend a lot of time doing our analysis based on our visual cortex. So the fact that someone has come up with a model that reflects much more of how the human brain works visually is fascinating, and I think it will lead to some brand new products. I don't know, I believe this Yann LeCun relationship with Meta is maintained. I don't know if there's an investment from Meta into his business, but effectively it's a new business. This is the model that he's been working on, and Meta kind of is somehow related to it based on either the work that they were doing or research or whatever. But yeah, it's fascinating. And Meta has a lot of products that are visual, right? So they have their VR glasses, they have the Ray-Bans, they have all of these AR and VR things, which I believe is where this model kind of comes from.
It's interesting. We've talked a lot about AI hardware and how it kind of gets out of date before it ships.
Yeah.
And we both put down deposits on Neos. And one of the big things when Neo was released was people were talking about how it needs to be teleoperated in order to train it to do certain things. By the time Neo arrives in homes, models like this will be able to be embedded in robots that just learn on their own.
Yep. Totally.
That's kind of really the catch with robotics and consumer goods and AI and hardware is that by the time you get it, the software's progressed so fast that the software that the hardware was made for is already out of date.
Yeah. There's this startup we've covered, this would have been weeks and weeks back, called Gen Zero, which, remember, it's like a video of this robot, just two arms, and it has a camera and it's putting together Lego structures, on the fly, reacting to the real world. It was dropping pieces and picked it up, and it manipulates the real world items in a tangibly almost human way.
It didn't need to plan. It just moved. It made the plan as it moved.
It's like a streaming, rotating, really quick real world model. I think that our sci-fi view of what robots will be like is totally different than what robots are actually going to be like. They won't have robotic voices. They won't have robotic movement. It'll be honestly so close to fluid movement from normal human muscles that it will almost it'll
more
almost
like
feel
Star Trek than Star Wars.
More like Star Trek than Star Wars. Exactly. The BB-8 is already behind the times. You know what I mean?
That piece of junk.
Anyways,
There's also another really interesting video you might want to reference, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a military application using visual sensors where if you have multiple units in the field, humans, that see other people or machinery moving, if you're over there, somebody's over there, and I'm here, and we've all seen the same guy, and he moves behind a building. I can still see where he is behind the building because it's using the data from the other cameras to tell me where that person is. So I think that, even though I can't see it.
I think that video is Palmer Luckey talking about his Anduril kind of mask that these soldiers can have on. It's like a helmet, and it has a heads-up display, and it does relay the information in real time from different locations, and then builds a wireframe of the world. So hey, there's a guy behind that container over there.
There's a view that's coming up here where you're going to notice a drone picks up a guy behind that container over there. And what's going to happen is when he walks behind that container, I'm able to continue to see where he is and what he's doing. So here's Ghost X is the drone that's watching. So just watch for a moment. So the blue force is my friendlies. So see that little right-hand corner where it sees behind the containers? They're tracking where the bad guy is. They're tracking where my guys are. And then watch when they go behind the container. So I can actually see through it. And
that you can't see physically, but your drone can see,
Yes.
right? And it builds all of that information in real time. All of that is physically possible right now. And what will happen, I suspect, is that as you bring models, like high-end training models, the data, the real-time data, decision data that you get becomes much, much better. It's just, I think right now we're still in what I would consider like the technical phase of AI deployment and adoption. We're still learning about what models can do. At some point, what will happen is the technology will become totally transparent to us. It'll just be about how we interact with these tools and how naturally we can make that happen. That's what I think the future of AI is. It's in our ability to really not see it at all. It'll be totally transparent to us. Yeah.
I agree. Great. Well, thank you for joining us this week. If you liked what you or if you didn't, either way, leave us a comment. And if you liked it, subscribe, give us a like. Join us again next Monday or the next Monday, where we
You could have continued that, or the next Monday.
Yeah, and actually, towards the end of the month, we are going to have Matt Hussey from GenerosityX joining us. We're going to talk a little bit more about how he's using AI in his agency and helping people to raise money to do more good. So we'll see you in 2 weeks when everything's changed all over again. Bye.
Bye.